I looked to the sky once more, trying to see some sign of my brother's arrival. But nothing. No sign of them. I really think the Atlantean era is over. Before our history is lost for good, I decided to write it telling the best moments of our people, our adventures. But I decided to use the Greek language associated with our alphabet. When I'm done, I'll leave it hidden, buried so that, in the future, nature will be in charge of unearthing it and someone can know our true history. But, on second thought, I think I'll leave a table with the association of the Atlantean symbols with the Greek ones. That should help anyone who finds it. Our greatest invention, man, has become very dangerous to the universe. For that reason, we could not leave all our knowledge at his disposal. With this knowledge so advanced, he could use it for war, causing, perhaps, the destruction of the planet itself, as it happened with ours, Atlantis, although it was not for war. In the past, we've left a lot of information in the right places with people who would pass that knowledge forward in due time. The Renaissance was one such propitious moment. If you haven't noticed yet, yes, I am an Atlantean. And, perhaps, the last of them. We passed our knowledge, over time, from one hybrid synthetic to another. This term was used by us, synthetic, because it was a human created by us, and hybrid, because it was the result of the union between a human and an Atlantean. Over time, with each generation, the synthetic hybrids became less Atlantean, as they mixed among the synthetics, ordinary humans. And little by little, they were moving further and further away from us, until we stopped passing on everything we learned to them. Even if my brothers return, I believe it will be time for everyone to know, at least, our history, because if something happens to me, everything will already be recorded. When an adventure is narrated, we don't always remember moments that connect two facts. It's like creating a vacuum in that interval. Here, it won't be any different. I'll have to create a fictitious bridge, which could be even fantastic, but which will allow the plot to continue. Understand as a poetic license, any bridge that you deem absurd. So, let's see how I could describe ourselves. An Atlantean has a very long life, but it's really long, otherwise I wouldn't be here to tell this story. We are tall, over 2 meters for sure. And thin, of course, since we have the ability to absorb light, as if it were food. But, yes, we can also feed like you. We all have light hair and eyes. Many leave their hair, which is long, tied up. What changes just a little are our appearances, but we are basically identical, because we were created by our masters, from the same initial formula. We are very different mainly in the way of thinking. Human beings, being our creation, are very similar to us externally, with the exception of sex. Another very different thing, in relation to you, is our vital process, which is all slow. Thus, we wear out very little and last a long time. Any damage to our body is repaired, however, more slowly. In fact, I don't remember any of us, in original form, to have dying. And I don't even know if it would be possible for this process to occur with us. Our memory capacity is great, which allowed us to absorb a lot of knowledge from our masters and over time. Maybe that's what made our learning so fast. With this acquired knowledge, we have done many things in our world that no one could have imagined, but one mistake ended everything in just one day. An error generated by the universe itself. Maybe it wasn't such a mistake. Maybe it was what it was supposed to be. Well, if that didn't happen, this planet here would still be frozen and with few life forms, this I guarantee. But how did we come to be in the universe? You must be asking yourself. Our masters created us by acquiring the ability to manipulate particles, the same particles that make up the entire universe. Think of these particles as something similar to your electron, in shape and size, but not negatively or positively charged. The universe is simple. It wouldn't create one type of material with different charges. That would be too complex. What changes in a particle is the velocity. Depending on the speed of rotation of this particle, its properties change behavior. And believe me, they could change that speed. With this ability, they could manipulate everything in the universe, like true gods. I'm sure they could even avoid the error I mentioned earlier. But I won't get ahead of myself. Let's start with the story before we were created and told to us by them, our masters. I tried to use the same terms used by you, to facilitate understanding. When it is necessary to clarify some points, I will do so with comments in parentheses. So let's go.